On this special edition of Independent Sources, Conservative Couture, how Muslim and Jewish women are breaking into the multi-million-dollar modest fashion sector of the industry.
We're not in this business to conform to what the existing industry is doing, other than the professional aspect and comp cards and things of that nature, but we're really in it to bring something new.
And cosmetic changes, finding a market for hard-to-find beauty products for women of color.
I also have this idea that we will be the first of many brands that speak directly to an affluent brown woman, an aspirational brown woman.
Those stories and more coming up on Independent Sources. Welcome to our 7th season premiere of Independent Sources. I'm Abby Ashola. We're fresh off the pomp and pageantry of this year's Fashion Week, and so we decided to take a look at where that industry and ethnic communities coincide. We'll begin with Muslim clothing designer Nyla Limas, who is trying to undo some stereotypes about Muslim women with her fashion-forward aesthetics. I spoke to Limas about how modest designs have become a great form of expression for her and the women she dresses.
We're not in this business to conform to what the existing industry is doing, other than the professional aspect and comp cards and things of that nature, but we're really in it to bring something new. And that's kind of what fashion is anyway. As long as it's professional, it's creative, it's about bringing something new.
Nyla Limas is indeed bringing something new to the fashion world. Her clothing line, Amira Creations, is inspired by modest Muslim women like herself who infuse style and flair into their everyday look. Here in this Manhattan studio, Limas showcased her latest work during New York Fashion Week.
The name of the collection this season is Equanimity, which means serenity, tranquility, relaxation, anything, in that realm. And that's what I really wanted this collection to reflect. And this line is a transitional line. When I say that, I mean it transitioned from a vast variety of the definition of modesty. So it's not just modesty from my perspective as a Muslim woman, but it's just modesty for like the average modest woman who wants to, maybe show a little but still be covered, or wants to wear something fitted but maybe not fitted and short. So I tried to keep a balance within this collection to kind of meet the masses.
Why was it important for you to create fashion-forward clothing for modest Muslim women?
That's me. That's just me. Since I've been young, I've been very creative. I've been wearing a hijab and covering my hair since I was like 5 years old. And my parents were very willing to let us be creative with our hijab, which is part of the reason why I embrace it being an adult, because I had a very good experience with it when it was introduced to me as a young girl.
The Brooklyn-bred designer got her creative start dabbling in jewelry design and cosmetology. Eventually, she took interest in creating garments. Limas is also extending her hand to other designers. Amalina Aman, a fellow modest clothing designer, came all the way from Australia to showcase her work in the installation Limas produced. Talk a little bit about your collection. It's beautiful.
Thank you. It's called Enchanting Romance. It's inspired by the 1960s to the 1970s, a very bohemian, gypsy, hippie. It's like a bit of femininity, but at the same time, there's that rugged and really rustic look into it. To me, modest fashion is a very big market because I know that basically it's not only Muslim people that can wear it or Islamic people can wear it, like everyone can wear it, like anyone that wants to be very comfortable.
Yeah, I was going to say that I see a lot of crossover pieces. The harem pants are beautiful.
Yeah, and like the harem pants and also like the throw over, like the kimonos and the kaftans.
Showcases like this is just one of the ways Limas is trying to impact the industry. She's received international recognition for creating the Under Wraps modeling agency that promotes modesty through the runway. Her main goal is to break down stereotypes about Muslim women spawned from the media.
It's a more of a oppressed type of way that they tend to depict us. Even as far as our garb, they tend to depict us a lot of the times with very dreary, dark clothing, and that's fine to who wants to wear it, but there's Muslims that don't dress like that, and they don't really show us like that. So I feel like we need to be seen.
Nyla Limas is not the only one appealing to women who want to be haute without being too hot. There are others like Mimi Hecht and Mushki Nutik who created the Mimu Maxi clothing line for Orthodox Jewish women who want to be more chic. Zyphus LeBron sat down with Hecht, Nuttick, and fashion blogger Aura Loloy to talk about the trend towards more conservative clothing.
Mimi, Mushki, and Aura, thank you very much for being in studio with me today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. All right, so let's just start a little bit with you, Aura. So your blog, you talk a lot about snoot style. If I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, please,
Snoot.
Snoot. Define to the audience what exactly is that?
Snoot style. Snoot means modesty, and style means style. I started Snoot style 2 years ago. I started it as a guide to myself, actually, because I was looking to become more modest, like in my attire, and I was just afraid to lose that fashion factor. And I realized that you don't have to. It's actually like, it's easier. It's easier because you're only looking at one section, you're only limited to skirts or dresses and whatever. So it gives you more space to look into like the style. I don't know if you know what I mean. So I started the blog and I started just looking for modest styles, affordable modest styles online or on the runway. A lot of famous designers and celebrities that wear modest clothing. And I just started posting it because I felt that probably like many girls have the same problem as me, and they probably like need a guide like this.
So Mimi and Mushki, you guys have kind of started focusing on this whole aspect of modest fashion for your community. Tell me a little bit, Mimi, about your Mimu Maxi.
Mimu Maxi. So it's Mimi and Mushki. So Mimu Maxi. Basically 2 years, it's actually our third summer doing it. So 2 years ago, we kind of just took matters into our own hands after realizing how hard it is to find fashionable, modest clothing. We obviously have to adhere to our customs and traditions, and we are very into clothing. Mushki's my sister-in-law, and we always were talking about clothing and what we want to be wearing, and we were just like not finding it anywhere, certainly not for the prices that we could afford. So we're like, let's just do this. Let's just design those clothing that we always say we wish we could wear. And that very week, we headed into the fashion district and started making samples and playing around with concepts. And it immediately took off in our remote community of Crown Heights, the Lubavitch community. And now it's just really taken off beyond. Even we have a lot of Christian customers, Muslim customers, and there's just this ever expanding, group of people and community that want to dress fashionably, like Aura was describing, and adhering to that part of themselves that's stylish and fashionable, but still keeping with the modest standards.
So Mushki, bringing you into the convo, what was your response when you guys started? When you got such a kind of a positive response from the community, how did you take that? What did that mean to you?
I mean, it felt great. Like we're very excited. We did it. Mostly, we wanted to start a business and start something that could, also bring income to our families, something that we like to do, but also just really just for ourselves. Like we'd find pieces that were modest, but that were stylish, but weren't modest enough. And we didn't want to sacrifice. We didn't want to have to wear things that, like you were saying, wear things that aren't our trend or our style because we have to be modest and we can't find it, Like we both have a very strong fashion sense and style, and feel like style is a way to express yourself. And walking out of the house, you want to feel like you're wearing what you want to be wearing, and you're not wearing something that is put on you because of certain guidelines. So we were very much doing that for ourselves, with something, and till this day, it's all about what do we want to wear. And the fact that it has grown and we have so many customers and so much positive feedback is only an added bonus. It's so awesome. We're great, we get to make clothing that we love, have a business, and have all of these people affecting all these people positively, and selling them clothing that makes them feel the same way that we feel. Wow, finally I can wear something that is easy to throw on, I feel totally like myself, and is fully modest, and I didn't have to sacrifice any style element.
So Aura, what are kind of the do's and the don'ts? Are there any specific lengths or that fall under this whole category of modest fashion?
I think everyone's on their own level, and of course everyone's accepted for their own efforts, but the rules are cover your knees, your elbows, and your neckline. But again, everyone is on their own level, and whatever you do is accepted.
Do you think, from your experience, do you think it's kind of like a booming trend, or is this something, or is it kind of just a flash in the pan?
It's something that's growing. It's just growing more and more. Like 10 years ago, it wasn't that popular, but now it's more popular. So I predict it's going to be more and more, I think.
I think the more people like us, bloggers, designers, who are celebrating it and doing it right, and really not just, like Mushki was saying, not just doing it to cover the areas that need to be covered, but actually creating beautiful clothing that people love to wear. I think the more there are people like us who are celebrating and doing that in the right way, the more it's going to grow. And even, I'm sure you have so many people who follow you, and we have so many customers who don't even keep the modest guidelines, and they're like, I just love this piece, and so that's always like just very exciting and encouraging.
Right, and that was the next question to you, Mimi, was that, is it something now that's kind of jumped, where it's not just, hey, listen, I'm Muslim or I'm Jewish and I want to dress modestly, but is it something that, it's more
I think it's definitely, there's a big eye on modest fashion. There's so many people, we have Kate Middleton, who is this young, beautiful, fashionable, she's royalty, and people follow everything that she wears, and she's always looking very conservative but spot on with trend. You have Olivia Palermo, who's a huge stylist, who just always is wearing, she does wear pants, and she's not Jewish, she doesn't adhere to any religious guidelines, but she's always looking very conservative and modest, but super fashionable and feminine. And you have Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, who are always wearing this draping long layers. And there's so many people who don't even know about this concept are looking to, certain icons in the fashion community that wear that whole covered up look and make it look good. And I think that more and more people are taking to that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I know that you guys, in your answer so far, you've talked about, transcending communities and so forth. I know that you guys had a little bit of issue when you promoted a Muslim designer on your site.
So a big part of what we do is connect with other bloggers, and we have a lot of Pentecostal Christian, and Mormon customers and Muslim customers, and we've been following a Muslim blogger named Hipster Hijabis, which actually very much relates to what we do, because I guess we're hipster Hasidic, and we're following her blog for a while. She takes, her customs and translates them into the way she wants to be wearing, and we very much admire that. We actually sent her a skirt to model and share with her followers, and obviously part of that is, regramming her picture and sharing it with our followers, which we were more than excited to do. She totally rocked the skirt leggings that we call them, and it happened to be that she decided to post it, and this happened during, when all the conflict in Israel was going on. Obviously, it's very, very touchy, so even though her name is Summer, she's not a terrorist, and we have so much in common, and we chose to celebrate that, and we're very proud that we did.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And things have kind of petered out now as regards to that?
People had an emotional, very, sensitive response initially. We actually got a lot of apologetic emails from people who reacted very strongly at first. But at the end of the day, she's a Muslim blogger who is promoting a Jewish brand. It's a beautiful thing, and I think we have to promote these connections and highlight our commonalities, especially in the conflict.
And we've connected with a lot of other Muslim bloggers and people in the fashion industry after this, and we really treasure those relationships and connections, and it's so beautiful to actually see just how much we have in common and just, celebrate something positive for a change,
It's very hard keeping modesty, and I'm sure, I know Aura was saying it's very easy, maybe for you because you chose to become more modest, it's easier for you every day. Growing up, keeping modesty, it's not. It's an everyday challenge, especially if you want to dress fashionably. And I think that there's so many people out there, Christians, Muslims, Jews, or people who just want to be more conservative, wake up every day and they know that they have to be covered up, or, they obviously celebrate that they want to be covered up. But it's not easy in our society, just as a shopper, as somebody who goes to school, or, I think it's a huge challenge. So the more we connect on that and show how it could be positive and embrace it together, the better.
Right. Mushki, do you foresee you guys maybe pushing out into those larger communities, those larger audiences, more specifically trying to target them and not just specifically, Jewish or Muslim communities?
Oh, we always try to, target whoever, we stay on trend, and we already have seen and experienced, customers who have no, religious association and really are just buying it for the style, because oversized and fuller fabric garments are really in right now. So when we were at Fashion Week and we were seeing some things on the runway, certain pieces could have been part of our line, without having to make any changes. That's so common. So it's the perfect time for us to break into, we feel, to break into just, anybody who's into obviously the trends that we are putting out. But we've already seen that it's gone beyond the Muslim, Jewish, Christian, and it's wonderful.
Right. Do you see a more competitive, modest fashion sector emerging?
Designers like them, they make affordable prices, of course, and I think the bigger designers, high fashion designers, not everyone can buy from them, so we have them, which it makes it easier for us, You know what I mean?
Competition is always a very good, healthy thing. I mean, you know, since we started 2 years ago, we see so many people popping up and designing their own things and starting their own brands. We were connected with some bloggers in California, started like a maxi, you know, dress collection and stuff. And I think the more competition there is, the better. I think nobody in our community, which is like a very small already, you know, having to adhere to this, like we should all embrace the fact that each other are doing it. And even on the business level, a little bit of competition is a good thing. Like we should all just strive to achieve the perfect item and the perfect, you know, look. And
it motivates you to move forward.
Motivates you, yeah.
Aura, Mushki, and Mimi, thank you all very much for being in studio with us today, and best of luck to all three of you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Thank you for having
you.
us.
Still to come on the show, one entrepreneur who's trying to change the face of cosmetics. Before that, Crystal Lowe has some other news.
Thanks, Abby. Here's a look at some headlines for New York's ethnic and community media. El Diario La Prensa reports that immigrant workers who help clean up Ground Zero are asking authorities to pass a law legalizing their immigration status. Many of the workers have developed ailments directly related to the rescue and cleanup efforts they participated in after 9/11. The newspaper interviewed workers who have full medical coverage. Many of them fear being deported to their countries of origin and losing the coverage they are receiving here in the United States. Several workers are in poor health and want to visit their families before their conditions worsen. They fear that if they leave the U.S., they will not be able to return because of their immigration status. While New York City's new paid sick leave law may have New York City employees rejoicing, employers remain skeptical about the new law and the adverse effects it may have on small businesses. A new law recently passed by the City Council allows New York City workers who work for more than 80 hours a year to earn up to 40 hours of sick leave to care for themselves or a family member. The Gotham Gazette interviewed a small business owner who talked about the downside of the new law, such as the financial burden it will place on them to pay overhead charges such as rent and taxes, in addition to paying for full staff coverage while their primary employees are out sick. An unidentified small business owner who was interviewed challenged the city to rethink the law for smaller businesses. Some suggestions include exempting businesses with fewer than 20 employees and changing the rate of accrual to 1 hour of paid sick leave per 40 to 50 hours worked. The Amsterdam News reports the 5 men known as the Central Park Five have finally found some closure 24 years after being wrongfully convicted for the rape and beating of a Central Park jogger, Trisha Miley, in 1989. The city reached a settlement with the 5 men totaling $41 million. 4 of the men, Yusef Salam, Raymond Santana, Kevin Richardson, and Antron McCrae, will receive $7.125 million each, having served approximately 7 years apiece. The 5th man, Carrie Wise, will get a significantly larger sum of $12.25 million for serving 13 years. The sum is to reflect $1 million for every year that the men spent behind bars. The settlement is said to be the largest amount ever awarded for a wrongful conviction in the city. And finally, Diario de Mexico profiled Rosa Lopez, who handcrafts art pieces inspired by indigenous peoples. Lopez makes her art pieces using ordinary materials such as wood, stones, plants, and seashells. She is originally from the city of Izúcar de Matamoros in Puebla, Mexico. The artist now lives in Passaic, New Jersey, and displays her work in galleries, libraries, and pro-immigrant organizations throughout New Jersey and New York. Lopez has produced over 200 pieces of artwork. She says that she aims to pay tribute to indigenous people, Mexicans as well as Native Americans, whom she considers at risk of being forgotten. Those were just a few headlines from the city's ethnic and community media. Independent sources will be back after this.
Thanks for staying tuned. When you open a major fashion and beauty magazine, what do you see? You'll likely find white models representing the majority of major beauty brands. Yet the models and the target audience for many brands don't typically reflect the majority of cosmetic consumers. Research shows that African American women spend $7.5 billion annually on beauty products. That's about 80% more money on cosmetics and twice as much on skincare products than the general market. Yet many still struggle to find products that suit their needs. I spoke to beauty entrepreneur Jody Patterson about how she plans to change that.
We, especially brown women, are we're at a loss for great product. So I really wanted to focus on a woman who's a beauty enthusiast, but hasn't had an easy time with her beauty process.
Jody Patterson is working to change the business of beauty. Less than a year ago, she partnered with former L'Oreal marketing executive Benjamin Bennett to create Dubop.com, a website that sells cosmetics from around the world to women of all ethnicities. Patterson is no stranger to the industry. She once owned a beauty shop in Soho, and she started a successful brand of beauty products called Georgia.
I really got the bug for international product from that store. I was selling product from all over the world to women all over the world. So that's where it kind of came for me as an idea that, like, look for product beyond the ethnic aisle, beyond the general market aisle. Look throughout the world, find great product, and then offer it to women, and they'll appreciate it.
We're talking a lot about brown girls, but I believe you cater to women of all ethnicities.
True. So I say brown because I think, well, one, it's most of the world. The world is more brown than not at this point. And if you look at New York,
Different shades of brown, right?
different shades of brown. Yeah. So when I say brown, I mean the entire spectrum. Really light brown to very dark brown. We're talking about our customer base is Latinas, Africans, Caribbeans, African Americans, Mediterraneans, white women with curly hair, because we also focus on a textured hair customer. So yes, I say brown. I focus on her because I think she's had the hardest time in beauty. But really, on our site, the product is so good, any woman hops on and has a great time.
Patterson formed a focus group of her beauty-savvy friends that helped select the brands sold on the site. She and her partner also created a team of beauty experts to advise customers on which products to select. So, Jody, tell me what we have here.
Okay, so this is a really great selection of product that we've been selling. Pretty Potion. It's a great brand. It comes in this really cool packaging, but even better than the packaging is what's inside. It's a mix of natural plant-based ingredients that you use as a cream on your skin or on your hair. And it has little flecks of minerals that make your skin or your hair illuminate. Wow. So it's a natural concoction that a makeup artist made based on a salad she used to eat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so she was inspired by food and made food for your skin and your hair.
Wow.
And it has a slight tint to it from all natural ingredients.
Anytime something doubles as skin and hair, I'm all for it.
Exactly. So Pretty Potion. This is Purely Perfect. It's a new brand that came out. I love it. It has 3 pieces within the line. That's it. So shampoo for your hair and 2 conditioning styling agents. I like the brand because it's very focused on the 3 things it does. The shampoo is without harsh detergents, so it's great for curly hair or fragile hair or color-treated hair. And then 2 conditioning styling agents. One is sort of a heat protector, and the other one is rich with nutrients.
So
Very
what
simple.
group of women do you think gravitates towards
Everyone.
it?
So I tried it. I have naturally curly hair. Another woman in our office who's French, she has naturally straight hair. We both love it.
Nice.
So I think everything in between. It's just, it approaches beauty from a very gentle, relaxed perspective, and I think anyone and everyone can appreciate that. Your hair is going to love you if you treat it gently.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, all hair types.
And this is your line.
This
Georgia.
is, yeah.
Very nice.
So this is about, let's see, 10 years old, my brand. I named it after my teenage daughter, Georgia. It's a line that's for a woman just like myself, really busy, multitasking, big family, and really naturally inspired. So I love natural ingredients. I love natural products. I don't want to have to read the ingredients before I use something. I just want to pick it up and know that it's good for everyone in the house.
Yeah.
So this is what it is. You can use everything for every age group in your house, and you can multitask. So the shampoo can be used as a body wash, as a hair wash. The creams can be used on your scalp, your skin, your hair. It's all food-based as well.
Smells
yeah.
nice.
That's the body perfume. Yeah,
love
that's shea butter based. So it's shea butter and oils, and that's it.
This
Almaz.
has gold in it.
Yeah.
Anything with gold
I know.
is interesting.
You can never have enough gold.
Right?
So Balmaz lip gloss, it's like, I like it because sometimes reapplying lipstick in the middle of a meeting is weird.
Yeah.
You know? But this one, you open it up, you tap it on your lips, just the right amount of color and gloss, and then the gold.
But most of the products you have are very exclusive. You can't really find them in other places,
Right.
correct?
So yeah, exactly. We focus on niche brands and prestige brands. And then a lot of the brands that we sell are exclusive to the States. So they're coming from Africa, they're coming from France or Israel, and we are the only ones that are selling them.
So what's next for Dubop?
We literally are the little train that is doing, can do, will do. So everyday business is really, just the small things in business are what I'm focused on right now. I also have this idea that we will be the first of many brands that speak directly to an affluent brown woman, a aspirational brown woman. That's what Dubop is really good at. We're great at understanding how complex and smart brown women are. especially the older ones, the more mature ones. And so I want to be that company that sets the standard to really speak to women on a complex level that they deserve.
You can learn more about Dubop and the products Patterson carries on the website dubop.com. When we come back, the fashion industry's image issue. Finally from us, we've tried to spotlight some diverse designers on our episode this week and highlight how more products are being targeted towards women of color. But the truth is, the fashion industry has an image problem. Many fashion lovers of color are very conscious of the fact that diversity remains an issue in the industry. During the fall-winter shows last February, over 70% of the models who walked the runways were white. Less than 10% were black. We asked a few fashion enthusiasts about their personal style and their take on the diversity issue.
This is kind of like my everyday. I like big skirts, and I cannot lie.
Wow.
I love big skirts. I don't see a reason not to. You know, I wear trains daily. If I may never get married again, so I have to wear my train now.
Describe your style.
My style is a good balance of avant-garde and minimalism.
I like to buy everything cheap.
You like thrift?
I like everything, so pretty much I save money, but at the same time look kind of cool, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, you look very cool.
Today I'm feeling kind of sporty, kind of fresh, so I went with this French Connection sweater, and I really like the detailing here.
Is the fashion industry becoming more diverse? Here at Lincoln Center, we asked a few style enthusiasts what they think. How do you feel about the issue of diversity in fashion? It comes up every year that models of color aren't being used. What do you think?
I definitely think it's improving. However, it still is an issue. But I just feel like, we have to take one step at a time.
It's a slow process, just like anything else with, African Americans and just women of color in general. We're always going to have to jump over a few hurdles to get, where we should be.
Do you have hope that it'll change soon?
I feel like it is changing. It's a slow process, but it's definitely a lot different from even just, 4 years ago when I started covering Fashion Week.
I was actually at a show the other day. I won't say the name of the designer, but there were probably 30 to 40 models, and out of the entire show, there was one girl of color at the show. And, I feel like it should definitely, going, into the future, I don't see why still this is an issue.
Do you feel like there are enough models of color? Do you want to see more Asian models on the runway?
Oh, sure, yeah. I think eventually, I think I was reading something like in the future everyone's going to be mixed, interracial, and everyone's going to be no, I think everything's going on great. So, it's eventually going to lead on to even better things every year.
That's going to be up to us as designers to choose our own. We have to let other people know by doing ourselves. It's each one teach one or two. So if we don't do it ourselves, how can we expect them to do it?
Yeah, now day by day, there's a lot of Asian models that coming to the fashion show, and they're getting more and more famous. And I'm happy about that, and especially the Chinese one.
I think there should definitely be, a diverse range of girls of all Asian, Black, Puerto Rican, Indian, every single type of model that, because then again, everyone's buying clothing, not just one type of color,
That's our show this week. Thanks for staying tuned. Till next time, be independent-minded.